Welcome in. My name is Anthony. I am a full-time Uber driver who is making 6 to 7K a month. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm still broke. Bank account is in the negatives. I owe on my credit card, no savings. 28 years old and still don't know what the hell I want to do with my life. Welcome to Leverage Success. This is a YouTube channel where I'll be documenting pretty much from where I'm at now on up. 100K, 500, you name it. You're gonna be here with me. For those who like, comment, and subscribe, all the way from the bottom, quote unquote, to the top. Welcome in, let's get started. So, as I mentioned, I do full-time Uber, and if I run the numbers, I do make 6 to 7K a year. Now, on Mondays, I average about 200. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the same, about 200. Thursdays and Sundays, we're talking about 250 plus. And of course, Fridays and Saturdays are the best days to do it if you do it just right at $300 or more. Now, we just lowball it and add it all up, that's $1,700 a week. And if you add that times 4, there you go, you got your 6 to 7K. Obviously, like anybody, I do take an off day, I do slack a little bit. And to be honest, that's how I got in the situation I'm in right now. I slacked off, kind of got into gambling a little bit, but long story short, I just was not taking care of business the way that I claimed I wanted to my friends and family, and honestly to myself. So, for those who may have or may not have, I did post a video about 4 months ago, roughly stating the same thing. Pretty much that I wanted to document my success journey. Pretty much anything that I was doing, whether it was physical, mental, spiritual, you name it. Trying new things like hobbies, learning the guitar, learning languages. Pretty much anything that interested me, I was gonna document it from start to finish, whether it was a success or a failure. And here we are 4 months later with no video in between, so you know how that went. Many of you might be thinking, well, what's different from now and back then? And to be quite frankly, outside of normal living circumstances, not much. The economy is still technically what it was. Some could say better, some could say hasn't, some could say worse, some could even say it hasn't changed. I'm gonna go with it hasn't changed. If I had to give you an answer on what really changed, I'm just sick and tired of it, I want to take care of my family like anybody usually would, at least the ones that I like. You don't like them all. Some of them you only see once a year, and that's okay. And honestly, I just want to be able to travel the world and do what I want, when I want, with who I want. Again, probably like most of you. So this channel, as it stated, is called Leverage Success. Now, many of you may or may not have heard the word leverage before. May not have even seen the TV show, which is really great, by the way. But basically, if you read any book by any successful person, watch any video or podcast, in some way, shape, or form, they tell you that they use leverage to make things easier and faster to earn money or get where they want to be. That's whether they're using someone else's money or someone else's time or someone else's platform. So that's what I'm going to do here. For every aspect of my life, I'm going to find what I can leverage, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use that to get better with my money, with my physicality, and my mentality, because it's easier. And I'm a person that doesn't like to waste energy. Clearly, I like to waste time, but we're going to fix that too. So what I'm going to do is briefly go over the income, as I already mentioned. Previously, I'm going to go over my fixed expenses, variable expenses, and we'll move forward from there. So, as I mentioned, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Uber, I'm averaging about 200. Thursday and Sunday, about 250. And on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm making about $300 a day. We're just going to cap it at 1,700 even to make the numbers make sense. Let me go ahead and do that here. So we're going to do 1,700 times 4, and we got 6,800 right around there. Now, as far as rent, I do have a roommate. He's all right from time to time, and he'll come into play later in the story. But right now, we're going to discuss my fixed expenses. Rent, that's $1,000 a month. And then I have my car insurance, which is about $200 a month. Got Butterfingers here. Give me a second. 200. I got my car note, which is pretty darn high. That is coming in at $600 a month. My credit is horrible, and that'll be something I'll work on at a later segment, and I'll explain that too. So here we are, and then I have my phone bill. That's $65 a month. As I do Uber, I do want to make sure I have enough data so it doesn't kick out on me. I've had that happen one too many times in very important days of the month, and it's not fun. So after everything is said and done, we got 1K plus 400 plus. Is that all right? Nope, sure didn't. Yeah, let's slow up here for a second. 100. 613 plus 65. All right. So that is about $1,878. And we take that from the 6,800 that I mentioned earlier. If I'm hitting all my numbers as I should be, and it doesn't even take that much. Honestly, an 8-hour day, and I can easily clear $200 a day. Obviously, weekends I am doing evening runs, so about 10 or 11, depending on how well I slept. Don't want to overdo it. But that leaves me with just under, or just around $4,900 left for the month. Now, if we do variable expenses, we've obviously got gas. That's $30 a day. So we do 30, and I'll just do 6.5 because I don't always do a full 7 days. That's $195 a week. So we'll just round that up to 200. And then, boop, boop, boop. So 200. That brings us down to roughly 4,700. And then we've got food, gotta eat. And I do believe, apart from the gambling problem, because I haven't done it in about a couple of months, maybe going on 2 or 3, so I wouldn't really call it an issue, but it is how I kind of got myself in this situation. Eating out is really damn expensive. That's what I do because I've been too lazy to cook and meal prep like I said I would 4 months ago. Since I've been in this new place with my roommate, I've probably cooked all of about 5 separate times, give or take the occasional spot check here and there. But that really ate into a lot of my expenses. So you're basically taking out gas and food and gambling. I've just been in a repeating cycle of just blowing through, as we can see here, an extra $4,500 a month. And I've just been playing catch up ever since, which is not fun. It actually really sucks. And I, like most people, thought that, hey, I just needed to make more money. More money would probably solve the issue, and clearly that isn't my problem here. The problem that I have is that I just can't manage the money that I already have. And if I can't manage the 7,000 basically that I've got coming in now, me getting more money would not help me at all. I would just piss it away. I'm not telling my money where to go. I'm just pretty much using it willy-nilly and just letting it run wild. And that's gonna be goal number 1, pretty much reeling it in, figuring out where I can cut costs, keep things simple, and pretty much get back to 0. Because right now I'm in the red and it ain't good. You know, it's like people who win the lottery or people who get inheritance, you know, they come into money that amount that they've never had before with the same financial discipline that they have with the checks that they've been making, and they expect it to fix everything, and usually they end up right back where they were. And I'm going to do my best to avoid that by learning the discipline that I should have before I get there. They always say how you do anything is how you do everything. How you spend $1 is probably how you'll spend 10, 100, so forth and so on. So before I start making all that money, let's go ahead and get straight now. All right. So basically, as I mentioned, the goal of this channel is to document everything from now on indefinitely until I either get tired of this or I find someone else to follow me around with a camera and do it for a decent amount of money. Who knows? Um, Basically, how it's going to be set up is I'm going to do everything in like 12-week blocks. I'm going to have 3 major areas that I'm focusing on with a very specific goal at the end of those 12 weeks. Each week there will be markers that will be worth so many points that I'll need to be ticked off. And that I'll go into further in that, but that's basically how it's going to be set up. So the 3 areas I'm focusing on is obviously getting my money right, getting back in the green. So that comes with fixing my checking account, paying back the credit that I do owe as far as the credit card goes, and getting everything set up to where my bills are paid automatically, where I don't have to worry about being behind on those again. Just to give you some numbers, because I am going to do my best to be transparent on all aspects. The only thing that we will never talk about on this channel is most likely my relationships, whether it be family or friends, or significant others. That's just not something I ever do, never have, probably never will. But my checking account, as I mentioned, is in the negatives. We're talking about $290 something. Easy fix with a good day's work, which should be taken care of either today or tomorrow. We've got my little bit of credit that I do, which is kind of sad. It's only $450 roughly that I have to pay back. I've just been neglecting it to do it. And so yeah, that should be taken care of as well before the end of the month. But in between there, I've got my car note and I've got rent that'll be obviously due on the 1st. So by the end of December, the goal is to have all of those ticked off so I can be at baseline, starting the year and the month fresh, because that is when the 12 weeks will actually kick in. So these 2 weeks from now until the end of the new year is pretty much hitting the reset button, starting to slowly build those habits of getting up, not making excuses on why I'm not hitting my numbers, building that accountability with my accountability partner, which I mentioned will be my roommate, and so forth. Second area is going to be fitness. Something I've been working on for a while, is completing a Murph. For those who don't know, it is an exercise routine, I guess, where you start with a mile, you will then do push-ups. I believe it's 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and then 300 body squats, and then you end it with a mile. I'm going to work my way up to that, and that'll be the end goal for 2026 fitness. But the first 12 weeks, I'm going to start with a quarter Murph, pretty much quarter it, 25, 50, 75, and obviously a mile on both ends. The goal is to have that completed within 35 minutes or less before I bump it up to another quarter, as far as that is concerned. And that'll be short form content where I document start time, end time, along with some other stuff. And then the third part of the channel is like the little experiments that I'm going to be doing to add more to my income as time goes along. So right now, on average, I am averaging about $200 a day. My goal is to add $50 to my daily income pretty much each month, as far as that is concerned, outside of Uber, because I do want to separate myself from my car as far as income goes, because I have a nice car. I don't want to run it into the ground once I pay it off as well. Perfect. So I did mention my roommate. He's my accountability partner. He can be a bit of an asshole from time to time, but he means well. He just can come off wrong sometimes. But pretty much told him what I was looking to do, and there are going to be some penalties in place if I don't hit, or pretty much do the actions that are required to potentially lead me on the right path to success. As far as leverage, he's the person I'm leveraging right now to keep me accountable until I have the discipline to do it myself. So what that looks like is basically if I miss posting a video, the long form basically on Sundays and maybe Wednesdays or Thursdays, I owe him $50. If I break a food budget, I'm gonna try and limit myself to $100 a week. So that's a grocery shopping haul and the occasional coffee here and there, because I do like to drink coffee and tea at my local coffee shops. If I break the food budget, that's an additional $20 that I own. And if my weekly execution score drops below 70%, I pay him $20. He likes his money just as much as the next person, and trust me, he will collect. This is basically, you gotta make it hurt. At least I do anyways, because I don't want to pay him anything. But yeah, he's my roommate. We've been friends for a while, but yeah, he's gonna keep me accountable. I've already given him permission to pretty much do what he's gotta do as far as that is concerned. So to kind of close things out, as I mentioned, these next few weeks leading up to the new year, I'm still going to be posting like update videos, how things going, did I miss anything? I'm going to give you updates on my bank account situation. I'm going to give you updates on how close I am to paying the car, what I've got saved up for the rent, pretty much everything. There's going to be some short form here and there, workouts, just stuff that happened while I'm in the Uber, just random stuff like that, so I can build that muscle of posting, being in front of the camera, talking to you and to nobody all at the same time. But yeah, between now and the end of the year, that's what it's gonna look like as far as that is concerned. Again, this is Leverage Success, and welcome aboard. I look forward to reading the comments below. And yeah, just subscribe, like, share, whatever you can to support, that'd be great. And let's have some fun.